All right, it's a 2005 4L60E. The customer wants me to change it to a two-wheel drive for a LS swap. So we'll see what's going on with it and what we got to do. Always got to remember, you got to take off the input shaft lockup seal. Always get that off, and I like to take the bell housing bolts off first. Alright, now we got to get the shift linkage off and the Prindle switch off. This. Sometimes these can be a real pain to get off, and I'm going to put a new one on it, so I'm not going to care about damaging it. Yeah, see, it broke the little plastic piece. It's because it has a burr on the end of the shaft. So whoever put the shifter linkage on it the last time really ran it on too tight. Oh, see, it's even broke onto it because of the burr that's on there. Yeah, see, there's a burr on it, a real bad one right here. If you look, I don't know how well you can see, but there is a nice burr to it on here. So that's why it broke it coming off. The only way to really fix it, you got to get in behind this with like a die grinder or something, or a file, and file that down, which I'll have to do when I put a new one on it anyway. So, but it's garbage. Get the 2.4 servo out of the side. Well, that came off pretty easy. Usually you gotta really fight them off. Looks like it's still got trans gel on it still. So that's why I won't use the trans gel, or it's the pink death from the cooler leaking into the transmission. The trans gel, yeah, see, it's from their trans gel they put in. The trans gel just has such a hard time totally dissolving, and you use that stuff on like your check balls holding the valve body, this kind of crap will get stuck and you'll have shift flares, no shifts, weird downshifts, all types of problems. I can tell it's got a Transgo shift kit or parts of it where someone has ground this down, and more than likely they've changed the internal springs of the servo. It doesn't have the gold ring on it you'll normally see on a Transgo shift kit, but I'll get into that part of it a little bit later when I tear this apart. The fluid looks red. There's a hole in the pan, so that's nice. So maybe they did that when they drained it. When they put it, I don't know. So it's gonna need a pan for sure. But the fluid color is not too bad, so that's good. And it's got the rubber pan gasket, that's all right. There's really not too much material in this at all in the pan. The pan looks pretty good. Even looks like a new solenoid. I don't know. Let's see. Oop. Slippery bastard. Well, yeah, so it's definitely got a Transgo shift kit in it. There's where it's been pinned. They installed the pin. They used the wrong bolt here. This location, you have 3 longer, smaller 8mm bolts. Let me pull a 10 off and I'll show you. See, this one I just pulled out of that hole. There should be 3 of this longer bolt with the smaller head, the 8mm, not the 10. 8, 8, 8, rest are 10s, and it's actually a shorter bolt. So when they installed that like that, it's so close, it's really not grabbing too well. And you can only put the smaller head bolts in this little pattern, this L pattern right here. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. Otherwise the bolt will go all the way through and it'll lock up on the shell. And that's no good. So looks like they put it here. So that's a big problem really. I don't know if it got all the way through, broke the case. But they did, they put that in the wrong spot. That's supposed to go there. And you can see the height difference where it bottoms out versus the one that they had in it. That one was supposed to go here. So see, look how tall that stands off when it's in the wrong spot. Way too tall. So let's keep going. All right. Jeez. That one was really torqued down. I mean, I'm not going to go into all the particulars of bolt lengths and all that stuff. I just noticed that's a problem when I was taking that out of there. God, that's really walking all over the place. Get my chrome socket. At least they put a metal piston in it. I'm gonna have to hit it with the air to get that out of there. This can be really messy. If you hit it too hard, yeah, see, it's just Got the Transgo HD2 shift kit springs in it. That's why I hate wearing gloves. They just always rip garbage. The accumulator looks fine. The piston is the really early version with no feet on it. Let's get the wiring harness all disconnected. And you gotta watch this clip too in here holding this solenoid, and it'll, when you get your pick in there, once it comes out, it'll just fly away. And if you don't have a bunch of them laying around like I do, then you'll end up hunting for that for hours or never finding it. Yeah, it is not an OEM original solenoid, it is the updated type. So they did replace it. Tuck the harness out of the way. I just want to make sure and get all the check balls. Let's see how they did the check balls too. Oh, okay. I'll look over the valve body in a minute. Let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so they're all there. Little slippery booger. Can't find my magnet, lost it the other day. And the valve body plate, they did use a bigger bolt for the third clutch, a feed, but they, I don't know, the hole's awfully big. They should have left it the smaller hole or put a repair puck in it and used a regular ball. Looks like they took a cookie cutter to the case, which, yeah, you should never do that. I mean, flat file it with a whetstone, sure, but don't use a die grind, like a right angle grinder on it, which it looks like they did. You can see on the case connector right here, down in, where it's actually popped up a little bit, and it's actually coming out. So there's definitely leaking there for sure. I mean, I can almost remove it with my, I actually can remove it with my pick. You should not be able to, it's all broke. So they should have replaced the wiring harness, so it's all broken. They didn't replace it. Get the other accumulator out. Cooperate with me here. Oh, it's really stuck in there. And it's just got the, I don't like this short spring that they use. Case is okay. The pin, it's smooth, doesn't need replaced. It was just stuck in there because of all the crap and grime around the ring. It gets stuck in there, can't get it out. You gotta put it in park so you can get in there to get that top bolt. And you just got the one check ball in there. I do like seeing they didn't remove the ball for reverse, the exhaust ball. But yeah, they really probably had a lot of cross leaks. You can even see, if you look real close, you'll see like little chipping, it looks like, on the channeling right there from when they were hitting it with the die grinder. It's kind of all over it, and it's probably really unlevel. You got old gasket material around here that they didn't even get off. So I mean, I'm for sure you had cross leaks and things like that going on. That's definitely for sure going on. Let's get some of the fluid out of here. Yeah, the fluid looks really good. I mean, for what the guy told me. Let's see if we can get lucky to get the pump out without the puller. Sometimes you do. Yep. Sometimes no. Alright. Grab this. Oh. Keep this out of my way. Let's take a look at the pump, see if it's any good. Let's see. Yeah, the pump stator is bad. Down in the stator tube, it's definitely bad. I mean, you can really see all the grooves and stuff down inside of there. It's all grooved up. They should have definitely replaced that thing. It's kind of hard to see it on camera because it's so shiny. But it's definitely got some decent grooves I can feel with the pick and with my finger. A piece of metal, looks like aluminum, just fell off of here. So they put new rings in it. It's got new rings installed. It looks like it kind of rolled the ring too. But the stator needs replaced regardless, so I'll replace the stator. Just take these two screws out, 3, and then just press it out. Hopefully the pump's in good shape, and no, it's not. It's got really bad grooving. You can't, it's kind of hard to see. It's not just a shadow. I can actually feel multiple ridges with just the skin of my finger, let alone my nail. So that part of the pump's bad. Doesn't look like it's chattering any. I mean, the gear might still be good, but just the fact that the pump's worn, I wouldn't reuse it. And I can see already that this is definitely bad. It feels like sandpaper. Again, from them using a cookie cutter in the case and not cleaning it, just made everything worse, I'm sure. Yeah, the pump's definitely bad. Don't lose that either. You'll rack your brain trying to find that. They're so tiny. They get away from you. But yeah, this surface is just, it feels all gritty all around it. You can kind of see it too. If you look, you can see where it's not just shiny, but it's, you can actually see the cracking in it. So I'll just have to have the pump, I'll just have to have it turned down. Alright. Okay. Plastic washer, no big deal on this. Let's see if we can get in here. This band, and it's just all alligator skinned and cracked. It's burnt. pretty bad. There's hardly any material left on it at all. Let's see how the drum looks. It's definitely got hot. Oh, the drum needs turned. It's all chewed up. So even if it's out of round, doesn't matter. I'll get it turned. The ring grooves in here from the stator tube, that's fine. But the drum also needs turned along with the pump. They put the cushion plate in upside down. It doesn't go in that way, it goes in this way. So, and you can see the heat that it caused on the plates and what it did to it. Not just because the cushion plate being upside down, but that definitely didn't help matters any. It just puts all the load on the wrong space in the pack. Steels go to my steel junk guy. Frictions go in the garbage. I'll keep the pressure plate, cushion spring, and the snap ring. I'll take the drum apart later. And I can see already on this too, they put the bearing in upside down. The bearing does not go in this way. They've actually put it in upside down, changing the whole load. That's how it goes in. So they definitely put the bearing in wrong. Just, you know, it is what it is. People shouldn't be building transmissions trying to save a buck or two, and I get it. It's expensive. The 3/4 plates, I can tell by looking at it, are totally smoked. Looks like they used some really strange stack ups on it. So it's really weird. Let's take a look and see. If I can get it out of there. I got the wife helping me taking video because it's all I have is the headset mount, and it seems to have a problem whenever I have it in that. So they left the return springs out, which is a big no-no. I'll show you what they're, let me go grab one. Takes 5 of these anti-drag springs. They sit in the clutch stack just like that there, and it separates the bottom pressure plate to the top pressure plate, allowing the frictions and steels of the pack to float so they don't centrifugally apply or, you know, hydraulically apply just from rotation with being fluid loaded. So they took those out, didn't put them in, so that's, you know, not good. That's definitely led to part of the problem. I mean, it's totally delaminated the frictions, it's welded those completely together. So let's see what the stack they even had. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a really thin one. Almost looks like a power pack steel, like an Alto power pack steel. Because being an 05, it should have 7 frictions and 6 steels. And it does, but this one is too thin, that one's the wrong thickness. These two are the only right thickness. And they did have the 7 frictions in it. But yeah, just totally built wrong. The only thing, I don't think I can save that. I might be able to save this, permitting it's flat. I've got a big lapping block I'll check it on, but those, all these are total, you know, going to scrap guy anyway, so I'll try to fix those later. Let's see, let's get into the forward pack. See if I can get in here with this. Oh yeah, just by looking how far down I pushed that. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm literally pushing that almost like a 1/4 inch at least. So it's definitely smoked. For sure. It's under a lot of pressure actually. A lot more than normal. It's probably just because all the plates are all bent. Yeah. Let's get all the clutches out. I put that bearing in right. Let's see. Let's check the forward stack and the overrun. See how they did it. It's So yeah, they got it right. The pressure plate, friction, that's cooked. Let's separate them. Yeah. Cooked, cooked. Look how hot that got. Friction's trash, pressure plates I'll keep, regular steels, garbage. Snap ring I'll keep, bearing I'm keeping. Let's check the Sprag. I mean, even though the hub got hot, you can see how hot it is, just is totally discolored. It's probably still okay, the actual metal itself. I mean, it needs new bushings for the sun gear. And I can see already a real common problem. I can see the gold part of the Sprag, which means it's an SKF Sprag that GM used. And you could get them aftermarket too. And when you use those, it almost always destroys this hub because the brass is so soft. And you can, it's hard to see, but it's actually beveled down in a little bit and it's worn on the brass. And the hub itself is ground. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, but it's still bad. It's actually ground down, so I can't reuse that. And it's just a single cage. That's the other issue. The main thing was that it was this soft brass that they used. And almost all of them, when they are, it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it does say SKF France on it. And, every one of these, when it has that in there, that's almost always going to be bad. So that's junk. Should be able to keep this. That looks fine. New bushings. Wire wheel this. Make sure there's nothing in here. No, nice and smooth, so that's good. Those just need reworked. Let's see. Get some of this cleaned up real quick. See if I can get in here to get this snap ring out of here. See if they put it in right. Because if they put it in upside down, I'm going to have a heck of a time getting it out of here. Well, it's really, I'm going to have to, it looks like it started to chew into the output shaft a little bit. I'm gonna have to switch over here, move sides. Let's see. Grab this. If you want, I can show you what I'm doing in here. If I can hold the line. Get on the right gap. Just gotta get it in between there. And there it went, which can happen and will happen. I have a bunch of them, so it's not a big deal. Let's see. Go grab that. And there's the snap ring, and if it's actually tapered if you look at the tips, and when it's installed upside down, you just fight it constantly trying to get it out because the pliers just come into it and they end up just slipping off of it over and over and over again because they'll put the snap ring in upside down. It actually is directional, just in a sense of being easy to remove. Let's see, let's check the planet. Let's see. There's my sun gear. Let's check there's a captured bearing in here. I'll use this because I'm pushing down and I'm feeling when I'm putting a load on it like that, it feels smooth. So that tells me the captured bearing inside it's good. Then the pinion gears, I'm just checking for any type of side to side like this wobble in them at all. Because once you feel any of that, they're junk. I'll have to feeler gauge them here, but it feels good. And then I'll have to look at the spines. They're good. Bearing, I don't know about the bearing. I always check them and take them apart. And then the hub, let's see, the plant's good. The hub's worn out. The bushing from the sun gear, which we're gonna get to. Let's pull the shell out real quick. So it's got, is it a monster? No, it's standard thickness shell, heat treated. The splines on it, let's see. The splines are okay, but again, I don't save any of these. I don't reuse these. They go to my scrap guy. Get the gear out of here. But it rides like that. And you can see how hot it got. It's totally discolored. I seriously doubt they put one in it. If they did it totally wrong. It's actually crooked. You can see there's hardly any gap here. Then there's a bigger gap there, and an even bigger gap where it's got the heat scoring, which took that out. So it's bad. You can't really repair these. You just have to get a new one. So that'll be junk. I can't really fix that. There's too much material gone. Scrap guy. And always check the teeth in the ring gear. It looks good. And then it will wear too, actually. Right in here, it will wear where the snap ring is. And if it gets too thin, then that can be a problem too, so you gotta watch. The gear itself looks good, the rear sun gear. It looks like some, I don't know, it's not metal. It's some type of a plastic. It does have a plastic washer. There's no wear to it though. I do see some more plastic in the case. I don't know what that is. Could be old gasket, something off the band maybe. Let's see how they did the support, if they did it correctly. Down in here, up top, the support, they actually do have the snap ring in right. It's resting right at the flat edge. It actually should be up above that, and this part of the snap ring should be on over right to right there. You don't want it pushing on that part, because when it engages, the center support turns this way and bends the clunk spring in. Let me just grab that out of there. This little clunk spring, and if it, it just sits in the case like that, it kind of, so it's kind of sitting there, well, like this in a sense, and when it engages, this is locked to the case, so it pushes against it. I won't put that in. I put a case saver in. The plates do look brand new, for the frictions at least. The steels have been cookie cut. Can't even see what brand these are. I don't know what brand they are. Looks like it's an OEM, like a Borg Warner. And again, junk. Steels, junk. They didn't update the Sprag, either of them. This is a Borg Warner. No, this is an aftermarket standard thickness. So once it was probably built, before it was built this time, is when they put this in, or who knows. But it's definitely not a Borg Warner one. It's not really bad, but it's a Sprag. Don't reuse them. You can't really count on them because it's used. They're only good for 80,000 miles anyway. After that, replace it. The race, it's good. They have the bearing on correctly for the rear. Output ring gear and carrier looks fine. They do have the bearing on correctly for the rear planet. The rear planet looks like it got pretty hot. You can just tell by the color of the gear. It definitely got hot. And it's got some wobble. It's hard to see it. It's really hard to see it, but I can really feel it on that one. That one not as bad. Not as bad. Yes, I mean the planet, I might be able to press one of them out, but it's junk too. I will not reuse it. I won't give it to the scrap guy because I'll press these pins out and I'll replace all the gears and the pieces inside it. The output shaft looks good. So yeah, basically someone built it and they put stuff together wrong. Did they break that case? No, they didn't break it. I guess it would have to be a really long ass bolt to go in there to break. Probably from them putting a shift kit in that they don't know what they're doing, because obviously they cookie cut the case, and that's, you don't do that. So that just tells me they put a Transgo kit in it and didn't know what they were doing, to be honest. I'll take the drums down the rest of the way. You can just, it's totally hot, cooked. But the shaft's good, so the drum should be good. It's not really cut real bad here. Just need some new sealing rings and it should be good to go.